Part 3, the third tip. So far, we haven't had any tips. We've just had a bunch of ideas and like motivational speaking, but let's keep going.
Awareness connects the speaker to the audience. And this is what I mean.
Okay, hold on. What was the rule?
Awareness connects the speaker.
Hold on. Let's see. This is the third tip, is awareness. Something about awareness.
Number 2, awareness. Awareness connects the speaker to the audience. And this is what I mean. And so one of the speaking events comes about, and I get the opportunity.
Awareness connects the speaker to the audience. But what does that mean? Okay, I don't know what that means. I mean, here's a cool thing though. Okay, here's something that I'm not sure if you're doing it intentionally or not, but there's one idea that I'm constantly stressing, and that is uncertainty equals interest. If you ever watch a TV show that ends on a cliffhanger, even if you're not really into the TV show, you still need to watch the next episode, because that cliffhanger, like what happened, that you thinking about what's going to happen is the uncertainty equaling interest. So when you say awareness engages your audience, you're like, well, what does that mean? Which means now I might be listening. So that's good.
Opportunity to speak in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And before the event, you want to be early, you want to be ready, know your audience, know your crowd. I hear like all this partying type thing going on. I'm like, what's going on? And I go down, and they have an open bar. And they had the open bar for hours. They were lit, guys. They were lit, right? And so, listen, I go to the event. In my mind, I'm thinking it's going to be a professional, motivational, this is what you need to do. And I walk into a party.
I'm calling bullshit. Because I've never once spoke at any event where they didn't show me the agenda or the outline in advance, where there wasn't like, so here's what's basically going to cover. We wanted to put you in here. There's no way he didn't know that. I mean, okay, 90% that's like a made up story, or he's exaggerating to prove his point. There's just no way. Have you ever gone to any like meeting where they didn't have an agenda, or they didn't send the agenda out in advance? I mean, that's just standard. You purposely do that so that people don't get caught off guard. I have spoken at national sale meetings where it's going to be in the evening, and it's going to be like during or after dinner. And I always know what to expect. They're like, yes, we're going to do this, this, and this. They'll always tell you. They're not going to tell you they're going to have an open bar. Come on.
And so as a speaker, I'm thinking,
But let's see what we get with this. Because remember, the point of this was awareness. Here's the thing. You notice that in his attempt to be like dynamic and motivational, really pushing his like dynamicism, you already forgot the point. Like, what's the point of all this? Because there's no quick relation between idea and tactic and then getting you to apply it, which is what really we need to be doing. Awareness, quick example, right? Here's how you do it. Now you try it. That's how you should be telling people to be better speakers. Not with long stories about this and that.
Like, I was prepared to do one thing. I flew all the way here, and there's literally a party in the audience. Like the wave, the energy is like, hey, I hope this guy's cool. I hope he's gonna, have a joke. And I'm like, that's not the content that I delivered. So I get up, they call me up, and I walk up just like this. And they're as quiet as you guys are. They're literally staring at me like, what's this guy about, right?
Bullshit, because you probably had an intro. Ladies and gentlemen, now we'd like to invite so-and-so, da-da-da. But again, this is a made-up story.
And at that moment, I decided right before I got up, I said, you know what? I'm going to tell a story. And I said, before I begin, I just want to let you guys know I'm coming from Sacramento. And I hopped on the plane, and I met an individual, and we're chatting it up. And he thought I was...
So now we got Inception, because now we have a story within his story that's supposed to tell us about an awareness. It's something about awareness connecting to the audience.
I was going to give a presentation in Colorado. And I told him, no, I'm actually giving a presentation in Sioux Falls. And the look on his face was blank. And he said, excuse me? Where? I said, Sioux Falls. And he said these 3 words, and I'll never forget it. He said, are you sure? And I said that, and there was a man sitting right where you're sitting, and he literally laughed like he was at a Kevin Hart special. He lost, I'm talking chair went back. He's laughing so hard, it's about a crowd of 200, that everybody, you guys ever caught this? When somebody laughs so hard that you have to laugh? The whole crowd literally just starts busting, laughing. And I start laughing from the stage. I'm like, man, if this is how it's gonna be, let's have a good time. And at that moment, I realized something, because the old me would have been so stuck on the preparation part that I would have never had the audacity, I would have never had the awareness. Situational awareness is what I mean. When you speak or present, sometimes things will not go as planned. And there's no way to plan for it. And what you have to do is be fluid and malleable and ready to rock with the situation. And if you have situational awareness, what often can happen is you can play on what is happening. I said, open bar, alcohol, social event, I'm coming with motivation. If I switch it just like this and
Tell a joke to start with, but then what did you do? Because you're saying you got to change your pre-planned thing, but you probably didn't. That was probably your joke at the beginning, and then you went into your pre-planned
joke
thing.
And let them know I'm not all serious up here. The audience will be on my side.
So maybe he went into the rest of it, motivation to study. Maybe that's where you cut it off. But notice something. What's the tactic? What can you do in your next meeting based on that 2 stories? Again, yeah, knowing that things will go wrong and being prepared. Situational awareness, very important. How? As opposed to what? Not being prepared, not to being aware? Do you see what I'm saying? So here's a way that you practice your presentation. Here's how you can create situational awareness. Okay, record yourself doing your presentation, okay? Or just do your presentation in front of someone. You always have to practice with the fear of being watched, right? Then, half the time. So if you spoke for 15 minutes, now you speak for 7, but you got to say all the same stuff. Then, half the time again. Now you got to speak for like 3 minutes. Then half it again. So it's like a minute and a half. Then half it again, and so it's like under 1 minute. That gives you a core message. Then challenge yourself with saying your whole presentation in 20 words or less, in 10 words or less, in 7 words or less. This is not my technique. It's sort of a hybrid between myself and the thing called the Ig Nobels, IG Nobels, like Nobel Prize. Look it up. You'll be happy you did. It's just awesome, nerdy science stuff. They have the 24/7 challenge. Do a presentation on a complex topic in 24 seconds and then in 7 words. It's amazing. That's where I got this strategy. Why do you do that? Because if something goes wrong, if something changes, then you have different versions of your speech. Once you've done that, that's one strategy. That's how you have different versions of your speech. In case things are going late, you got to be shorter. And you get a key message out of it. So it's one thing you repeat over and over and over so that people remember it. But suppose we, like his story, which is, dude, I'm so skeptical. I'm sorry, but I'm so skeptical about that story. You're thinking you're going to be doing a normal speech, like a speech, and then it's a totally different thing. First of all, that'll probably never happen, because in our day-to-day, we know we're doing a 1-hour training session, and everyone got the agenda in advance. We know we're doing a meeting for, like, project management updates, right? We know we're doing a milestone reassessment session. So rarely is this ever going to happen. So this doesn't really apply to you. So that first strategy I gave you works well. That being said, how do you prepare for a completely different kind of situation where you thought you were going to give a very serious speech and they wanted team building? Like, again, that's only going to be happening to motivational speakers, but just pretend in some crazy world you're doing an interface evaluation with 5 engineers, but they're like, no, We wanted a comedy show. What do you do then? What can you do then? Here's what you do. You give every person in the room, and this is very specific, a part of your presentation, and you make them do it. That'll be hilarious. I'll mess with them. Also, get really good at one improv game. That's it. My favorite improv game is, I'll give it to you right now. This is another thing you can do. You get like a bunch of people up and you get them just to say compliments to one another. And it is the funniest thing in the world. There, done. Always have that thing back in your head. Thank you for watching. And video number 4, we're almost done. I mean, this guy's, here's the thing. The beautiful part is, sir, you are so good in front of an audience. But why be a motivational speaker? Why motivate people? Why not just give them the tools so that they can change themselves? See you next time.